Good afternoon. I'm 14First Alert meteorologist Arden Gregory here with your afternoon streaming show. We're going to just do all weather here today. We have plenty of weather to talk about. Let me make sure I've got the Facebook video pulled up here, so if you do have any questions along the way, I can see those and answer them. This is a live look at the Evansville riverfront. It was pretty rainy out there this morning, but the rain has really tapered off now this afternoon. We will have pretty steady temperatures, not just this afternoon, but all the way through the night tonight. Then tomorrow we start the warm up, and we really see those temperatures climbing as we go through the week. In fact, by the end of the week, we could even see some record warmth possible, and that's despite the fact that we will see very little, if any, sunshine this week. We've got just a very dreary, rainy week ahead. So let's dig into it, starting with today. We did have a rainy start to the day. We had showers roll through the tri-state early this morning and then push their way off to the east around the lunch hour is really when that rain started to push east and out of the tri-state. And we've been dry now for the past hour or two in most locations. It is still very cloudy, though. I wouldn't rule out a stray sprinkle or two as we go through this evening, but many of us are getting a brief break from the rain. Now, overnight tonight, late tonight, into early Tuesday morning, we are expecting another round of showers to move through. Looks like that'll be pretty brief, though. For much of the day on Tuesday, especially if you're farther south, like in western Kentucky, you may end up getting a break from the rain. A lot of the rain tomorrow looks like it's going to stay just north of the tri-state, but especially if you're north of 64, I really think you'll probably still get some rain Tuesday. But for many of us, especially on the southern end of the tri-state, it'll just be that rain early Tuesday morning. Then a good chunk of the day may end up being dry. Wednesday, I think, will be a different story. That rain starts to slide back down to the south. Overnight Tuesday night, we've got some scattered showers moving in, and then potentially some heavier rain and thunderstorms then as we get into Wednesday, especially across the northwestern part of our region. You've got that chance of some heavy rain and thunderstorms Wednesday morning, continuing to see scattered rain then through the rest of the day on Wednesday and into Wednesday afternoon and evening as well. And again, it's not just the next couple of days, it's the whole next week where we're talking about rain chances here. We see those rain chances ramping up Wednesday and Thursday, down a bit on Friday, but then moving right back in again over the weekend. Every single day this week, there's at least an isolated to scattered chance of rain. Obviously, some days will be rainier than others. Checking in on the questions real quick. Suzanne, hello. Yes, it is a gloomy day. Jeff Miller has more than a ½ inch of rain in Sava. William has a report of 0.36 inches in his gauge by Bossy Field. So everybody picked up some good beneficial rainfall. We did have the 5th driest February on record. So it's been very dry here recently. We need some rain, and we're going to get plenty of it, not just the next couple of days, but over the whole next week. So let's take a closer look at this. We've got those showers that I said have kind of pushed off to the southeast, many of us getting a bit of a break from the rain right now. More rain on the way tomorrow. A lot of the rain Tuesday will be just north of the tri-state, though. So the heavier rain looks like it'll be to our north tomorrow. Really, especially farther south into western Kentucky, a good chunk of your Tuesday may end up being dry. Then we see the rain chances picking back up as we get into Wednesday, especially in the northwest corner of the tri-state Wednesday morning. And we continue to see scattered rain then into the day on Thursday and into Friday morning. I do think Friday afternoon we'll get another break in the rain. Some of the models are even hinting at just a brief peak of sunshine on Friday. Don't hold me to that. We may go the whole week without seeing sunshine, but if we were going to, it would probably be Friday afternoon. Then rain rolls right back in as we get into the weekend with more rain expected Saturday and Sunday, and possibly even lingering into Monday of next week as well. Let's talk thunderstorm chances. Today and tomorrow, the tri-state is outlooked for the possibility of just some general run-of-the-mill thunderstorms, but I think even that might be a stretch. For most of us, this will probably just be some scattered rain today and tomorrow. Wednesday, though, notice we have this area of green stretching into our region. That does include a good chunk of the tri-state. That actually just updated not long ago. It used to be just kind of this northwest corner. Now it comes all the way down into like Webster County, stretching over into Davis and Hancock counties there. So it includes a good chunk of the tri-state now in this level 1 risk for an isolated strong to severe storm. I showed you that potential for thunderstorms with heavy rain Wednesday morning. It looks like it's possible 1 or 2 of those storms may be capable of producing damaging winds or some hail. Not really anticipating a tornado threat on Wednesday. If you widen out the view, you can see the greater risk of severe weather will be to the southwest in about Arkansas, stretching down into Oklahoma and Texas there. That's where they've got that level 2 risk on Wednesday. And we see that on Thursday as well. That's just today's risk that sometimes when it updates gets thrown on there. So don't worry about that. This is Thursday's risk here highlighted in the yellow. And then we see that into Friday and on Saturday. So through the whole end of the week, it really looks like the risk of severe weather would be west of the tri-state, but we could still get some heavy rain and some thunderstorms. Speaking of heavy rain, you can really kind of see the track where we're going to have just round after round after round of rain as we go through the rest of this week. The heaviest rain along with the strongest storms are expected to our west. You can see those orange colors showing up there in parts of Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. But here at home, we're still expecting quite a bit of rain over the next 7 days. Like I said, I really think the heaviest rain, especially on Tuesday, will probably be to our north. The farther south you go, that rain starts to let up a little bit, but everyone is going to get several rounds of rain over the course of this next week, and that's really going to add up. I don't think we'll see a whole lot of flooding issues or anything like that because this will be spread out over several days. And like I said, we're coming off of a very dry February, so there's plenty of space for that rain to go, right? The ditches and the creeks are all very low. There's places for the rain to go. And honestly, we could use some rain. We need rain. It's been very dry, and we're going to get plenty. So not real concerned about flooding, but it is going to be just a very damp, very dreary week. There may be times where we get just pockets of heavy rain within those thunderstorms where you may see just some very brief kind of ponding on the roads and things like that. Sometimes it takes it a little bit to clear off into the storm drains. But even though this is a very bright red and purple map, I really don't think we'll have a whole lot of widespread flooding issues. The purple shades there talking around 2 inches of rainfall, but as you get up into the red shades, especially north of the Ohio River there, you could be talking about 3, maybe even up to 4 inches of rain in some locations. But again, that would be spread across the entire week as we have a chance of rain every single day this week. Some days will be rainier than others. I think tomorrow a lot of the rain will be to our north. Wednesday and Thursday are looking pretty soggy. We get kind of a lull in the activity on Friday, and then Saturday looks rather wet, and then that kind of lingers over into Sunday as well. So some days wetter than others, but every single day there's at least a chance of rain, and all of that's going to add up to 2 to maybe even as much as 4 inches of rain for much of the tri-state. Zach Seats asking, are most of the thunderstorms expected to be non-severe this week? Yes, we have this very isolated chance of storms, of severe storms on Wednesday. A few storms may be capable of producing some hail or a damaging wind gust, but again, it's an isolated threat. Most of the rain we're going to see this week is going to be just rain. Even when we get some thunderstorms, our severe weather threat seems fairly isolated this week, but there is that chance we could get an isolated severe storm with damaging winds and hail on Wednesday. And there are some days, especially into Saturday, where I would maybe watch it. We may get outlooked for an isolated severe storm on Saturday as well, but overall, our severe weather risk this week is very low. Now let's talk temperatures, because despite all this rain, we have a huge warm up on the way. You would typically associate warmer weather with sunshine. That's not going to be the case this time, but we are going to have this big warm up. Right now, our temperatures ranging from the upper 30s to low to mid 40s. It's 39 in Evansville, 40 degrees even in Owensboro and Henderson. We may tack on another degree or two this afternoon. Then we just kind of hold steady. I don't think our temperatures will drop much at all overnight. We're just going to sit in these upper 30s to low 40s through the overnight hours with that chance of rain, mainly late tonight into early tomorrow morning. Tuesday, there is that chance for some scattered rain, but it really looks like a lot of the rain's going to stay to our north on Tuesday. It will still be cloudy though, and with winds from the south, much warmer. We're going to climb into the mid to upper 60s on Tuesday, and that is just the beginning of this warm up. For some perspective, our normal highs this time of year are in the lower 50s. Instead, that's where our lows are going to be for much of this week. We'll be looking at highs, running 15, 20 degrees above normal for most of this week, starting with tomorrow with those highs in the mid to upper 60s. Then we've got lower 70s Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, we could be looking at record warmth. The record on Friday, I believe, is 77. So that would set a new record if we do actually make it to 78. Then we cool things off just a little bit over the weekend, falling back into the mid 60s to low 70s there through the weekend and into the start of next week. Aaron, don't know if that's a question or a comment, but he says rain all week, and yes, is the answer. Like I said, some days will be rainier than others. It won't rain all week long, but kind of like today, it started out rainy, now it's just kind of cloudy, but we are getting a break from the rain. Many of the days will be like that, where it'll rain for part of the day, but not the whole day. But at some point, every day this week, it is going to rain somewhere in the tri-state. And especially when those temperatures climb into the 70s, like I said, starting Wednesday, we could have some thunderstorms in the mix too. And I think Wednesday and Saturday would be our two best chances for maybe seeing an isolated stronger storm, maybe capable of producing some gusty winds or some hail. Good afternoon, Jeanette, Teresa, Laura. And William mentions Ohio River flooding in the future. Very possible. Some things to consider. We're going to get a lot of rain. Areas to our north are going to get a lot of rain. All of that is then going to filter down our way. Contributing to this also, farther northeast, they just got a ton of snow last week. As that starts to melt and run off into the rivers, all of that eventually heads our way, right? Anything that happens basically northeast of here, that water all eventually comes down the Ohio River and heads our way. So we may be dealing with some Ohio River flooding, but that's a very long duration event, right? That's something that happens days or sometimes even weeks after the actual rain. And it's not uncommon for us to get river flooding in the spring. Oftentimes, March, April, May, you see that river kind of reach its highest point for the whole year. So that is something we'll be monitoring in the weeks to come. But the rain has to fall first, and that's what's going to happen this week. Looking at the extended outlook now, from Tuesday, March 10th up through next weekend. So again, we've just looked at this week. It's going to be warm and rainy, right? We're looking ahead to next week now. Still looking kind of warm and rainy. The extended outlook shows those extremely warm temperatures, the 70s and whatnot. That starts to slide farther to the east, but our temperatures still running near to slightly above average as we get into the middle of the month as well. Still expecting above average precipitation too. And when we look at the individual hazards, the Climate Prediction Center has outlooked a large part of the country, including the tri-state. Everyone in that green shade there has the potential for some heavy precipitation Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So I mentioned we're stuck in this rainy pattern, round after round of rain. It looks like that may continue all the way into the middle of next week. So we could be talking about a week and a half of daily rain chances here. It's hard to tell because the rain layer is on top, but do you see that tan shade here kind of sticking out on the edge? That also encompasses basically the entire eastern half of the country. So in addition to being outlooked for heavy precipitation Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, we're also outlooked for the possibility of some high winds Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday too. So still rainy, still kind of warmer than you would expect for this time of year, and possibly breezy breezy as we get into the first half of next week. So here's your 7-day forecast. Lots of rain in the forecast there. Like I said, tomorrow, rain mainly in the morning. The rest of the day, the rain will be primarily to our north, but we may still get a few scattered showers. Highs in the mid to upper 60s. That's kind of kicking off our big warm up. Lower 70s with a good chance of rain Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday's the day we could maybe get some heavy rain and thunderstorms, potentially capable of producing some gusty winds and some hail. Friday, we have rain in the morning. If we were going to get any sunshine at all this week, I think it would be a brief peak of sun Friday afternoon. It's also going to be very warm, potentially record-breaking warmth on Friday with highs in the upper 70s. We then have more rain moving in over the weekend. Saturday's another day to watch where we could maybe get some thunderstorms, maybe some strong storms on Saturday. Too early to tell for sure. Then the rain tapers off a bit as we go Sunday into Monday of next week, but high temperatures still running warmer than normal for this time of year. And like I said, as we get into Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, so a couple days beyond the 7-day forecast there, you could still see potentially some warmer temperatures as well as some rain chances, maybe even some heavy rain and thunderstorms along with some gusty winds. So this same kind of pattern seems like it'll stick with us on into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. And then maybe by the end of next week, we'll finally break out of this rainy weather pattern. But there are rain chances every single day for the foreseeable future, essentially. Also, one quick comment, you'll notice that little clock there. This weekend is the time change, so we do spring forward 1 hour Saturday night into Sunday morning. So we'll be talking about that all week, and you know, your phones, your computers, things like that change on their own, but you know, you always have to do the oven clock. Most of us still have to reset our car clocks, things like that. You'll have to remember to do that this weekend. And you're welcome for the update, Teresa. I'm not seeing any other questions in the comments, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Lyons will have an updated look at this rainy forecast on 14 News tonight at 4, 5, 6, and 10, and he'll have his streaming show tonight at 9. So if you do have any questions, tune back in tonight at 9. Drop those questions in the comment section on the Facebook Live video, and Jeff will do his best to answer those then. All right? Everybody do your best to stay dry, and at least it's not going to be a cold rain the rest of the week. Enjoy those temps in the 70s, even if it comes with some rain. All right, have a good one, folks.